Unfinished 777. What's going on? Welcome. Evo, what's happening? Keeping that Mitzo running? Long time no see, Mr. McGee. There's an old drag pack. Nice. I'm good, Evo. Mex, welcome. And yes, you are my Mexican connection. I think I'm going to say that every week. I love it. The Mexican connection. There's actually in a town half an hour away. There is a down home Mexican restaurant called the Mexican Connection, and the food's actually pretty good. We got a newer Mexican joint, and it's called San Marcos, and that's good too. But they're geared more towards those, you know. But still a good place. I'd rather eat the Mexican Connection. Inside in the air? No, it's actually it's hot today, but actually it's nice outside. I am in my foyer between the Wolverine garage and the house because signal fell off so bad last week that all my by the time I realized what was happening and got into the house where signal was better, the chat was already lost. So I want to be in the shop, but I will take you out there because I want to show you what I've done this week. And then, I don't want the chat to crash. I don't want to crash because of lack of signal. My house is all block. It's all cement block. House was built in 57. So yeah, and Wi-Fi signal and block, not a happy couple. Damn. Well, I mean, usually by now the humidity should be rolling in, but the humidity has been pretty low right now. And but yeah, the humidity will murder us too, especially in late July and August when it really starts to twist up the temperature. Yeah, 100% humidity, 90% humidity, 98% humidity, and 104 degrees. Yeah, good times. You sweat in places you didn't know you could sweat. It's like, how? My house is also cement block with we have really strong signal here. I had a live on Saturday outside and no drop off happened. 2 cups of string. Yeah. Holy wah. Well, we've got Tony's Hot Rod Garage in here. Tony, how the hell are you? Welcome to my live stream. Nice. Well, 5 hours of driving in the middle of nowhere. Okay. Yeah, I know you've been. I mean, your business is like ramped. To say business is ramped up is an understatement. I mean, basically, when you started the sponsorship with, all of the channels and taking care of their merch, that's basically when you kind of fell off on the lives, which I understand. Sometimes you're busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. I've been there. Little dihydrogen monoxide. If the one-legged man in the ass-kicking contest was a smart one-legged man, he wouldn't have a crutch at all. I would see him balancing himself on one leg and hopping everywhere and using his fists the best that he can. I look like Trump? Fake news, fake news, fake news, fake news, fake news. How's that? Yes, I totally, because Trump keeps his mustache so good. Yeah. Rob, how are you? Well, Colin, all I'm going to say is this. Let's make hot rods fast again, shall we? Got your comments going last month. Got it on December 28th. Wow. Was that your Christmas gift finally got delivered? Is it a 12 valve? Good old 12 valve? Did you get a 24 valve? Well, is it a 6BT? Is it a 4BT? What Cummins is it? Is it a little Cummins? Is it a big Cummins? Is it a 400 big cam? China. Once upon a time, went and bought a old retired bread truck, and it was pasture parked in the very back of the lot in Opero, and it must have sat for 7 years, and it had 1.5 million miles on the 4BT Cummins, and I had it running and was driving it home probably 2.5 hours after it was mine. And you would not believe how nice that 4BT drove with 1.5 million miles on it. And it came with service records, literally that thick. Everything that had ever been done to it was on record. Oil changes were on time. It was actually well maintained fleet vehicle. Talk about, yeah. '03 Ram 3500 with the common rail 24 valve. Yes. NV 4500 6-speed. You basically have what my friend JMO has. His is a 4-door cab. I think it's a long box. 4-door cab long box. I think it's 3500 24 valve 6-speed. That truck is a brute. Are my potatoes baking? No potatoes are baking. No potatoes are being harmed at the moment. Yes. Don't get the auto magic in the Dodge truck. It'll do it for a little while. The old 12 valves, they used to detune the automatics just so the Cummins will live, or just so the transmission will live. Hi, Lewis. Nice to see you. The old 699 DIs, those things don't make enough power to hurt themselves, and that's a joke. That's a joke against it. and for it. Yes. Yes, I did. I had forgotten about it, but the last time I talked to you, it was a fresh acquire. Yes, because it's red. I think it's red. Got dinner stuck in my teeth, man. Oh, so gray. That's so funny. Because my friend Jason's is gray, dark gray. That lucky bugger. He had a bad day. He went over to our friend Brian's place, and someone backed into the driver's door of his truck and wrinkled it. And he was lucky enough to go find a door, same color, rust free in Michigan, same color and rust free here in Michigan, swapped it onto his dark gray, slate gray pickup. Can't even tell it's a different body panel. Lucky bum. It never works out. You have this great looking gray truck with an orange door. Unless you paint it, but yeah. Usually it's this great looking truck. Oh, they replaced the door. Door's not supposed to be bright blue. Also, a guy years ago put together in this area, saved all rust-free parts, got whatever, and he just threw it together and he drove it. It was a e-body, like a 70 Barracuda or 70 Cuda or Challenger, and it was all done in rust-free parts. But the car was just, yeah, it was everything. Like the main part of the body was blue, and it had white door and a black door and an orange hood and a red fender, and it actually looked good. I didn't at first you're like, oh, you need to paint that, but after a while it grew on you. It was kind of cool because it's all good and straight and clean, and he set everything up nice, so the body lines were all real minty. Oh, Jamie at Dead Garage just went to look at new Rams, and all three trucks on the lot were the same dark gray. He bought the gray one. He bought a new pickup truck. Wow, he buys, sells, trades. The inventory at Jamie's lot is constantly moving. Things don't oh, what's going on, Tom? Good to see you. What's up? Oh, 2019. Yeah. New to him. Good. Because I don't agree with buying new vehicles. Let somebody else take that hit. Man, you light that thing up, sign the paperwork, light it up, drive it right off the dealership lot onto the street and sit at the first light and go, man, what am I doing? Turn around and go back. Third last. Because it's now a used truck. You didn't even put a mile on it. Used truck. Yeah. Let some other idiot take the hit. If you're going to buy newer 2-year used. It's gravel driveway. Graphite, slate, gray, metallic. Holy crap. Tony, you and Jason have the same truck. Are you a long box? 4-door cab long box? Or just the same? Dan, hey, that's on you. I hate my car. The exhaust blows and the intake sucks. How does the car feel about? Yes, how does the car feel about you? Yeah, I got a car. His smelly ass. He farts in my seats all the time. Never listens to what I want to hear on the radio. Respect my authority. I have authority. Oh no, nobody can handle Cartman, and he has authority. So, to quote your significant other in a relationship, ever have the, I did a thing. Yep, I did a thing. Want to see it? Oh, we're on the move. Built a speaker box for the truck, and it's too damn wide. I've done that. I built an enormous speaker box for a couple of 12s that was sealed for my 91 Jetta when I was interested in boom boom stereo stuff. Home audio is a lot cheaper and sounds a lot better and easier to achieve. Boom boom stereos are a pain in the butt. And I'll explain in a minute why, if I remember. I might get sidetracked. All right, so I'm going to get you turned around. There's my 727, and under that blanket is the valve body. Now, I can't take you in there because I'm right on the ragged edge of signal. But, yeah, I got the valve body out. There's the pan. I got the valve body out. And then right here in my chair, I got the Cope CRT shift pack. I'm getting a few parts ordered in. I made a parts order with Cope. They'll be coming in soon. And so it's a used transmission. Everything looked clean on the inside and untested. And I'm just going to run it. So I'm just going to throw a shift kit in it and torque converter and seat pan and a few other extra goodies, and I'm going to send it. That's the just get it running transmission. I plan to actually build a locking 727 with a reverse manual valve body. Don't quote my significant other. I treat her with the same love and attention. The kicker solo barracks, yep, the square speaker, dual voice coil or single voice coil. I did it! Holy shit! Yeah, I gave up on. I'd rather, if I was really to go for stereo sound in a vehicle, I'd rather go for sound cue instead of boom boom boom. I'd rather have just the clearest highs and hear every nuance in the music. Yeah, that's what I am more for. But I'm actually more of a vintage stereo guy. I got a bitchin' silver face stereo in the Wolverine garage with added silver face equalizer. It's so now my stereo is a blended stereo. Yeah, some factory stereos were good. Oh yeah, it's not going to stop with the subs. Well, The reason why I don't care for car audio is hard to get good sound quality in a car. Now, in like a Suburban or a Blazer or something like that, it's easier because you're all in one cabin. But you sit in the cabin of the car, and then in the trunk, well, that's another box. Okay. So I put my speakers in a box to help it propel sound better. Then I take that speaker box and I put it in the trunk of the car. So now I have a box playing in a box. That box that's in a box has to play loud enough to fill the actual chamber that I'm sitting in with sound. See what I mean? And then plus you have all of these angles working against you. Like, you go to somebody's home, really nice setup home stereo, and it sounds so good because there's nothing in the way and the speaker's pointing right at you or whatever. And it sounds so good. And then you get into a car stereo and you're like, you can't hear half the music because of the boom boom stereo. Chrysler was my favorite. Yeah, my mom and dad had a 90 Dodge Caravan with a tape deck, and it had like some 6x9s and some like 5 inchers in the doors. And it had the bass control and treble, just a slider on it. And yeah, I used to be the badass cruising around in a navy blue Dodge Caravan blaring Pantera or Sepultura or Metal Church or what else? Oh yeah, Rat. That whole bag of tapes. Oh, played the Van Halen Diver Down album. Played that a lot. Yeah, subwoofer. Yeah. Well, that's what they don't. Oh, bass is overrated. Yes. Like with the sound cue setup that I would go for car audio, I think my subwoofers would be 6.5s, maybe 8s, and because I want more of a tight drum snap instead of a bump, and yeah, I'd rather have clarity, all nuances of music. Yeah, the days of holding up a cigarette lighter when your car's pumping music and you watch the flame fold over or go out because of the bass. Yeah, I'm done with that. For that, now the perfect speaker, in my opinion, for subwoofer is a 12-inch speaker, because anything smaller, it's tight. Like I was just talking about, it's tight. And then, so the 12-inch gives you a little of some real deepness to it. Plus, it's got a little bit of tightness to it. 15 is deep and sloppy. 18s are even deeper and sloppier, a lot more cone to move around and stuff. And yeah. Yes, 12 in the sealed box. Sealed box for sure. Yeah. Hi, Mohawk. Nice to see you. Boston Acoustics is, they make some really great sounding speakers, but I've noticed that the Boston Acoustics stuff that I've had just doesn't last. It's not long haul stuff. It sounds good, and then all of a sudden it's not happy and it's falling down. It's like, really? I found a really nice set of Boston Acoustics bookshelf speakers, and had pulled the subwoofers out. The surround that was the whole reason why they were getting rid of them. They were the surrounds on the speakers were rotted out. The foams were bad. So I'm like, I don't care about that. Gave them like $10 for them. Took them out. Took the subwoofers out. They were like 8, and sent them into my local speaker repair shop. They put new foams on them, and I threw it all back together. Those boxes were made of high density plywood, like rack your knuckles on them, and it hurt. They were well made cabinets. They were backfilled. They were filled with insulation, and then yeah, that was really good. And yeah, I refromed them, put them back together, and started to run them, and then they just fell apart. Like they started shorting out internally and stuff. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Pioneer speakers, old Pioneer speakers, and you can tell from the era because they have the crosshatch speaker grills. Also Sansui. Sansui makes some really great stuff. Nakamichi makes some really good stereo stuff too. And then if money isn't an option, then there's always Macintosh. And yes, Macintosh stuff is just bad to the bone. A convicted audiophile? Yes. Yes, I am an audiophile for sure. Yes, I'm a stereo nerd. I've been thinking about, my uncle gave me his Technics turntable that I remember back when I was a little kid. Like, I remember in the 80s, because my aunt and uncle got married in 85. And I remember when my Uncle Paul was just my aunt's boyfriend. Anyways, he gave me, hi Justin, hey, at least you're here. That's all that matters, bud. So I was given my uncle's turntable that I remember from being a little kid. It's a Technics, I forget the model, but it's got the disco ball looking edge on the bottom of the turntable itself for timing and the light that goes on it. And it just needs a belt. And I have a nice Pioneer turntable in the house. I'm thinking about throwing a belt on it, and I might spin vinyl in the Wolverine Garage. What's going on, Does? But the only drawback is that it gets really, I do dirty work in the Wolverine Garage. So it's one of those things, do I put a turntable in there? Because I do want to, because I got a great record collection that I need to listen to. But at the same note, maybe that's not the place to be spinning your vinyl. I know, conundrum. I really back at my last job when I was working 84 hours a week, 7 days. I had nothing to spend my money, or I had no time to spend money. So I started shooting for really high end stuff. And I had it in my brain that I was going to upgrade my nice Pioneer stereo for an all Macintosh stereo, vintage Macintosh, where like a receiver, just a receiver, starts at $1,000. Each piece starts at least $1,000 used, not new stuff. So, and I was going to start putting myself together a really nice Macintosh stereo. And what I was after first was the speakers, and I wanted Macintosh ML1Cs, which are bookshelf speakers. Wood grain with the grills on them, and they're elegant pieces. I mean, they're not only is it Macintosh quality built, made in USA stuff, but it also was handsome stuff that your wife would want in the house if it was the 70s. Good, beautiful looking cabinets. And so the ML1Cs I wanted, the pair of those, and then there's the ML4s. Anyways, there was a 4 foot by 4 foot speaker box that was supposed to be like a real nice end table, so you could have a pair of speakers on either side of the couch, and they had like 10 speakers in each one, and it was probably 5 feet wide or 6 feet wide that laid up against the wall. That was loaded with even more speakers. And yeah, I was actually gonna get the Macintosh speakers first, and then I was going to do a Macintosh upgrade, like get all the speakers resurrounded and all that other stuff. And then I was going to start piece by piece upgrading the Pioneer stereo to a Mac stereo. So yeah, thank God I got a new job. I started to have expensive tastes. What else? It's only money, and I was buying stuff that made me happy, and stereo stuff made me happy. Going to the record store makes me happy, which I need to go to the record store, and you guys need to come with me to the record store. The record store is cool. It's huge. It used to be small. Now he bought up the building, all the other stuff. Hey, what's up, Neverboard? Where's my beer? I'm working with the water tonight. We'll have to have a beer another night. Yeah, that was one of the things that I was always messing with stereo stuff and Coleman lanterns and my license plates. And I should do a whole live one night where I bring out my total license plates that I haven't hung up yet. You guys will love it. I've got license plates from 1910. The first issued, not the first, but the first series of issued license plates for the state of Michigan is 1910, and I have one. And they are hard to find because 1910, 1911, some 1912, cars are still rich men's toys, and working people couldn't afford them. And then by late 1912, 1913, 1914, then the common folk were start to be able to afford an automobile. So there's more of those. But yeah, when I bought them, the guy I had dealt with before, as a matter of fact, thank goodness. So we had a report, and the people he was selling it on, this is the old days of Craigslist. The old days. And so I didn't realize it until I called him, and I'm like, hey, I want the 1910 plate. And he's like, yeah, are you going to make me a dismal offer like everyone else is? They want me to give it to them. And I said, no, I'll pay. He wanted like $200 for the, he had a 1910 plate and a 1911 plate as it sold as a pair, or no, for sale. And then I made a deal on the pair. And I said, I'll pay you what you want for the 1910 if we can make a good deal on the 1911. And he's like, that's it? Done. And it was still a substantial amount of money. I think I spent like $325 that day for 2 items. And Lady Dougster, bless her heart, at the time we had a 1990 black S10 4.3 5-speed. And I know that a 4.3 is basically a 350 minus 2 cylinders, but I am dead serious. If you ask that 4.3, what are you? It would say, I am a 350. I am a 350. That thing was an animal. we don't know what happened to it. It was just an old truck that I bought off of an old hot rod guy, and he never souped it up. It was bone stock. That thing with a 308 rear gear would bark tire in 4 gears. First, second, third, and fourth. That truck was awesome. The only drawback is it was such a rusty pile that it had to pick up on the door to shut it. And not only were the door pins that bad and so wallered out we couldn't even put bolts in them, the dash would pick up 2 inches. When you finally closed the door, the dash would pick up. It was that bad. That's the whole reason why we stopped driving it. It was not because it didn't run good. It was because it was just terribly rusty. Anyways, Lady Dougster's driving home, and I'm happy. I got my stuff, and we were probably half an hour away from home. She says, so what did you pay for those? And I go, do you really want to know? And she goes, yeah, I want to know. And I said, $325. And she was looking straight out the window. You know what I mean? Driving. And she never took her eyes off the road, but she did this. Oh, no cab. Oh, no. The truck was just hit body wise. Hit. But that truck ran, I mean, first crank it fired. That was the baddest little V6 that I ever drove. That for what it was. I mean, I had a 96. We had how many 4.3s? 90 S10, 2001 S10, another 4.3. I had a 96 Jimmy with a 4.3. And I'll tell you what, the black S10 would run ragged circles around the 96. And not that we had them at the concurrently, but yeah, the 2001, that was the worst. That truck was such a dog. My Jimmy was better, but yeah, the 90 was amazing. I hate seeing crush out. Scott's Speed Shop. Hey, Mike, what's going on? Scott's Speed Shop was showing this really cool junkyard down in Yates Center, Kansas. I think that's it. I could be wrong. Anyways, they don't crush out, and all the cars are for sale, and they've got cars from the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and they try to keep it all together by make and era. So you go to the Buick section, you go to the Studebakers, you can go to the DeSotos and the Dodges, and it's laid out well, and every car's for sale or parts. Yeah. I wish. Oh, and Dusty from Wolverine Satellite Garage, work has got him down in, I want to say, El Paso. He was driving out to Texas yesterday when he called me yesterday evening, and he's a little, of course, Dusty's a gearhead like me, and he's already scheming. He's like, because he's got the work van. They drove because they wanted to bring their tools and everything. And he goes, well, they didn't have me tow a trailer, so I think I'm going to have to amass some things while I'm there. So he's hoping to find a rust-free box, pickup box trailer, and then he wants to just scoop up as much rust-free parts as he can and strap them into that and bring that home. So that would really pay off well. Some good Texas rust-free sheet metal. Yeah. Make some money on your money, if anything. New York City. Porsche 914, MG Midget. Oh, MGs are cool little cars. In an Apache, that's going to be a Namco. Namco? Yeah, Namco conversion. And you are, I mean, if you want an OG original, that's going to be hard. No, somebody takes an Apache body and, makes a modern four-wheel drive out of it. But if it's like an OG Apache four-wheel drive, then that's going to be a conversion, and that's going to be hard to find. Be cool as frig, though, if you did it. Cool as frig. Yeah, Apache is a good-looking truck. The Apaches are good-looking trucks, and then the next body style after that is a good-looking truck too. I mean, but I prefer the GMCs. A 64-wheel, an Apache four-wheel drive. Wow. And it's a Namco conversion. Jeez, those parts. The four-wheel drive conversion parts on that thing are probably worth more than the whole truck. The truck's probably worth a bit. The C1940s car sitting right next to it. 2018 Honda. Oh yeah, I've so given. You don't even ask them. Don't even ask them. Just go look. The best thing they can do now is Apache. Body on Blazer chassis. Cruising Marketplace yesterday, I found a 79. I don't know if it's a Ram Charger or a Plymouth Trail Duster. No, it's a Ram Charger. Dodge truck red, white top, Ram Charger. No title, 440, four-wheel drive. Had some really cool vintage off-road stickers on the fenders from some off-road club, and they want $1,000 for it. No title, but it was really rough, really rough. But I mean, whole four-wheel drive system, that's worth $1,000, and they're not making any more Ram Chargers, especially removable top ones. I can barely read, and you want me to spell. Oh, yeah. Wanted to show you. The tire came in for the Valkyrie, so I'm going to be doing a tire swap probably this week or next weekend. So we'll run over here, point you towards the new tire. Where is it? There it is. Woo! Rubber donut. Goes on there. So, yeah. Look, it's June and I haven't rode my bike yet. I've held close to my word. No ride until new tire. All right. So let's play a game. I bought a Dunlop Elite 3 tire for my Valkyrie from Amazon. After it was all said and done, how much was that tire? We'll go Price is Right, everyone. Closest without going over. Mill amongst yourselves. I'm going to freshen my drink. We got guesses. We got guesses. So let's see. Hi, Anthony. Okay. So first guess is by Does Nothing Special, $250. Mama, 362. Mama, you're out. Anthony, you're out too. $455. No. You are out too, Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans. And welcome, Damien. Well, now everyone's readjusting their bids. $1, Bob. $1. $1, Bob. 420, Bob. 420, Bob. $1. $1. Out high. You're out high. If I say you're out, you're too high. $245.99. $289. $275. $276. $1. Okay. Closest without going over is. Wait. No, I'm going to call it right now. Ma wins with a bid of $289. It was $307 for a tire. Yeah. But it was a top tier Dunlop tire. I could have got a lower line tire for considerably cheaper. Hey, I need a tire. And yeah, there's only Yes, Max. Trust me. I'm used to it. But yeah, for one frickin' tire, yeah. I agree. Life is worth more. Well, my sister got in touch with me just not that long ago, and she was hoping that I could find a used tire for a friend of theirs for their motorcycle. And I said, you don't put used tires on motorcycles. You buy new tires. I know they're expensive, but can you really put a price on safety? I mean, I could totally road. I've seen guys ride on way worse tires than that front tire that's on my Valkyrie. But yeah, it's time. No ride till new tire. For 125 each? Wow, installed. So 125, 250, $300 for a set of tires? That's reasonable. Like here, not last November, but the November before, I put a set of Goodyears on Black Betty, and that was 900. But then again, Betty also has a ginormous set of tires for stock-ish tires. Exactly. Don't get the Walmart special. Bam-a-lam. Yeah. You know what's even funnier is the day, because of all people, my mom. And I just said, oh, yeah, I'm going to probably take Black Betty. And as I'm walking out the door, I'm at my parents' house. I hear my mom say, Bam-a-lam. Like, hell yeah. Another thing that my friend, another Doug, I know, I grew up around him. His nickname is Waxer. And old Waxer would talk about he's a sport bike enthusiast. He always has been. He has cruisers, but he loves sport bikes. He's had Honda Hurricanes, XJ 1100 Yamahas, and red and white. That one was seriously fast. He's had CBR 1100 RRs. He's had a lot of. He's got some super fast Beamer now. He's got some pretty skookum stuff. And then he gets in with these young sport bike riders and they want to go cruise, which that's what we do as bike riders. And Doug will actually go check out their bike on purpose and then check out the tires, because what these young guys will do is they're so broke buying the sport bike of their dreams, and then they go out and they take that thing is used with a proper set of tires on it, and then they just beat those tires into the weeds, and then they go to put a new set of those Pirellis on it or whatever they are, and then they go, how much for tires? And then the bike shop goes, oh, don't worry, we can get you a set of tires for about $200. And they're like, okay, let's do those. Well, what happens is that you get way less of a tire, but also your speed rating on said tire is way lower. So instead of having a tire that was rated, the bike can go 185 miles an hour and had tires that were rated for that. Well, now you've got a tire with 123 mile an hour speed rating, and then he takes that bike out and wrings its neck and takes her up to 185 because she'll do it. He doesn't know any better. So that's exactly what Doug was looking out for, is to see if these young guys are out driving their tires, like running them faster than they're supposed to be. Which you're like, whoa, never thought of it that way, but that makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Chimed in and agreed. That's right. Coleman makes good stuff. Last set I bought for the daily driver was $1,100. Yeah, Lady Dougster was going to put a set of Cooper Discoverers on the on our Avalanche, Blanche the Avalanche, and she came up with that, and it was going to be like $1,200 for the Coopers, and she ended up going to this little this little down home tire shop that she loves, and she ended up spending $1,100, and she got chicken lo mein tires, 4 chicken lo mein tires on the Avalanche, and 4 chicken lo mein flavor tires for our Toyota Camry. So she put on 8 tires for $1,100. Granted, they're El Cheapo, Mr. Chang tires, but like names you've never even heard of. But okay, hey, they're tires. They seem to be working pretty fine. I do not care for Toyos. I do not care for Toyos. I've seen Toyos just go to hell in a handbasket. I really like the Coopers. Coopers wear like iron. Usually when a Cooper will break belts, but usually when a Cooper tire breaks belts, it's already time to replace the tire anyway. So yeah, they break belts, but it was time to replace that tire anyway. Hand kooks have been good too. I like a hand kook. Had hand kooks on the on that black S10 with 14-inch tires. Well, good. Good. I'm glad you are, Does. Patrick, I'm going to throw you one that's even worse. popping a tire at 185 or driving that tire so fast, let's say it's rated at 123 miles an hour speed rating, and you've taken it to 185, and then it just starts to chunk out. You've got it so stretched out that centrifugal force could make it just dissipate. So even worse yet, could you imagine the tread trying to peel itself off at 185 miles an hour? No thanks. I had a set of Bridgestones on my when I bought my 96 Jimmy. I had a set of Bridgestones on it, but they didn't last. They were almost done anyway. And then I ended up putting a set of Cooper Cobras on it because that's what I had. I had a 83 Volkswagen that I had a set of chrome modular wheels on with a set of Cooper Cobras, and I ended up getting rid of the wagon and selling the chrome modular wheels, and I ended up keeping that set of 225/75 R15s, and I threw them onto my Jimmy. Worked great, and they were cool raised white leather. They were before. The Bridgestones were too. All terrain. Yep. One day, we're at the asphalt company. Truck comes in, and it's got a bulge in the sidewall of the steer tire, and the boss is in a big lather. I barely noticed it. I was just turning away from the shop door into the shop when I seen David coming in with it. I just caught it out of the corner of my eye. It was the passenger side tire. And boss is in a huge lather and wants this done, that done, barking orders, and tells David to go with the dump truck to go somewhere. And I'm standing in front of the hood waving at him. I'm like, no, you're not going anywhere. And which is even funnier because as he pulls up to me, we're beside the shop and the boss is in the doorway of the shop. Now, he's already, oh, I told you why are you stopping him? And I point to the tire. I said, that tire's done for. It's a Maypop. He's not going anywhere. At least not in this. I'll go fire up the other piece of equipment. No, I want that one because it's got more capacity. And I'm like, okay, do you have time for me to change a tire? Wait, no, it's a steer tire. I don't have a steer tire. He goes, doesn't matter to me. Send him out. Get out of his way. And I said, you can't let him go with that tire like that. Watch me. And we ended up having a big argument, one of the many. And yeah, I ended up winning, but yeah. Yeah, of course, things were sad, and yeah, good times. I should have just took my pocket knife and stabbed it. Now he ain't going nowhere. No, I wasn't like that ever. In my mind, I'm like, yeah, and take that. And I said this. No, I didn't. On my way north in Black Dart, I had to pull into a tire shop. I had them replace 3 valve stems. When I asked them how much, the girl said, that's 50 cents US each. Holy crap. Hey, 6%, welcome. Nice. Hi, Justin. Good to see you. 6%. I found a couple of Mopar a pair of Mopar cop wheels for $80. I might be sending you I might be sending you on a mission. Yeah, if I had someone here to help me, I should show you guys the Burger King sign that Scott had me pick up for Lauren, the camera human. It's actually it's got to be 5 feet by 5 feet. It's a tarp. It's essentially a thick tarp Burger King sign. It's like the temporary sign when they place the sign and they don't have the actual shell, so they threw that over it. Yeah, because it's made to be lit up. It's pretty cool. It, it I when I bought it, because he lined it up and I just went and picked it up for him, because I was here on the west side of the state, and we drove our little Camry, and we get there and I throw open the Camry and I try to grab that thing, and it about filled the trunk of the Camry. Like, okay, cool. Got it in there though. Speaking of hills, the King of the Hill reboot's happening where Peggy and Hank are older, and now Bobby is an adult. And hey, no problem, 6%. No problem. And just remember, I might ask you for a favor. So yeah, I'm kind of interested to see. I know they've had some John Redcorn just died last night. The cartoon character or the voice of John Redcorn? It's so funny. Headache treatments. And here comes John Redcorn in his Jeep with Hot Blooded blaring on the stereo. I law an all day. Hey Barrows. So you're trying to buy it and you didn't buy it, or it's something that you want to buy and you know you shouldn't buy and you've been wrestling with that. It's good to see you, Barrows. Welcome. So I finally pulled the valve body out of that 727 that I got from 6%, and everything looks nice and clean inside the transmission. I'm very pleased. Um, so yeah, I got that pulled out yesterday, and I did a whole bunch of bag and tag work. So, boy, where would I be without bag and tag? One of my favorite things I learned. Dumpster dive for something I can't find. Oh, there's this guy. He's a Wisconsin guy, and it's Charlie Barons. Yeah, Charlie Barons on here on the old Lube Tube. And he does all sorts of funny stuff. And he goes out as a first day as a garbage man. and he has a problem. He can't throw anything away. And the guy's like, come on, man. Come on, Charlie. Put it in the, no, we can't keep it. Come on, throw it away. It's garbage. No, this is good stuff. I want it. No, man, come on. I gotta put it in the thing. It was pretty funny because I could, yeah. A guy that I used to hang out with, Jack the drummer, he had all sorts of neat stuff that he brought home from trash pick from being a garbage man. And he had a fleet of like 25 or better Tonka dump trucks, just Tonka dump trucks in every condition that you would imagine, from so far so good, looking nice and clean inside. Live badminton channel? Ooh, badminton. They're going to shuttle that cock. Hit it with rackets? I mean, God, who'd ever thought that darts would be so popular? Like televised darts. Or some of those guys are just absolute sharpshooters with darts. We used to play darts nonstop. Used to go sit around, drink beers, bullshit at my mother-in-law's house in the old red shed, and we had a dartboard and radio, and we'd play darts all night. Later, 6%. Good to see you. Playing cricket, play around the world, where you go 1 all the way to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 20, or backwards around the world, 20 down, or 501, 1001, 1501. Yes. Now, it was actually pretty funny. My friend Freckle is actually a pretty skookum bowler. And he played in the city tournament one year, and then the local television station had shot the whole thing in its entirety, and then they broke it up into segments, and every Saturday they would show a segment, however long, of that bowling tournament. So it's local TV. So all of my Freckles co-workers are all talking to him like they think it's happening right then and there. And it's not live. It was recorded 4 months ago. And the guys are like, are you going to take Johansson? I mean, he's following you by like 3 pins. And Ryan tried telling him, no, not bowling for dollars. Remember from Weird Al Yankovic, bowling for burgers? Or spin the wheel of fish. Ooh, red snapper, very tasty. Bowling should be replaced with curling. Curling's actually pretty cool, you got to admit. Where you got to polish the ice. Unfinished project gets a point. He gets a point. I've never given out points till today. Unfinished project gets a point. He knows the movie. Yes. You get the drink from the fire hose. Ready? Uh-huh. As a matter of fact, there you go, Dino. You got upgraded. Yeah. I guess that Weird Al Yankovic still has his Nash Metropolitan that he drove in that movie. It's like a burgundy and cream or a brown and cream. It's a cool little car. I like the color scheme, really is striking on the car. Oh, danger ensues. Oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. What's going on, Salty? The Salty Badger. Arr. We have a car ferry that is a old steamship. It's like 71 years old or something like that. And it's a steamship. It's a still coal-fired steamship, and it's a car ferry. And it runs from Ludington, Michigan, across Lake Michigan to Manitowoc, Wisconsin. And that thing is a cool piece of equipment. Can we start over from the top? Sure. Fairy, not not magic wands and pixie dust. Fairy. Ferry. We start over every 13 minutes. Yeah, but that's called the USS Badger. And that thing's, well, it's big enough that my friend Jason, or JMO, used to take his semi-truck, his loaded semi-truck on the ferry and take it out across. For him, the price of fuel to drive from West Michigan down south through Chicago and then up into Wisconsin and then head out that way, it was the same price for him to make that drive in the same time and the same money to rent a spot on the ferry and then go out across and not do anything for 4 hours or drive it. It took him like 4 hours. And he says, why drive it? Why have the wear and tear? Let them. He says, it's really cool too. I haven't done it yet. I will. Yeah. Yeah, at Zero has been credited with being the axe. The old Mustang GT. Nice, Danster. My God. There's a guy around the corner from me, not even a mile away from my house. He sold a Grabber Blue 72 Mustang, and it's going to the land down under. And the guy was it's hard to do business with the guy because you never know when to call. You know, because like right now, I think it's like early afternoon in New Zealand, so it's hard to. In the evening, he tries to call, and it's like the guy's at work or he's in bed. But yeah, it's a fairly good trip across the lake. Yeah, it's 4 hours one way, and then there's that's so the steamship is 4 hours, and if you need to get across faster, you can take the Lake Express, and I want to say it's 2.5 or 2 3/4. So that's a hydroplane. So it'll get right out of the water and really go. I've rode on one of those before because that's what takes you out to Mackinac Island from St. Ignace or Mackinac City. Hydroplanes, hydrofoils will take you out to Mackinac Island. That's really cool. You get enough speed and she picks up out of the water like she does. It's cool. Feel the power. Good thing I didn't realize WhatsApp was that nice. Oh, that's right. You've been cleaning out the backyard. Man, bonfire at Ma's place. She's got the sticks. You bring your hot dogs and your marshmallows and your graham crackers and whatnot. Yes, remember, Dean, just like Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. And ketchup. Yeah, ketchup on your s'mores. Who puts ketchup on hot dogs? Ugh. Put mustard on a hot dog. Mustard and onions. Chopper for biker build off. Nice. 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 I'm not sure about the power part, but yes. Hand tools. Wow. Battery powered chainsaw for that much. Man, you should go find a used steel chainsaw. Orange and white. Oh, steels are the best. If you can't afford a steel, buy a Husqvarna. Steels are number one, Husqvarnas are a close second. I've seen the commercial with the orange Mustang looking car in it. I wonder if that's an Aussie 65 Stang. It has rectangle headlights and no side vents. Taillights look different too. In the original Mad Max, when the biker gang rolls into town and then they're all acting a fool, and the young couple in the Chevy that looks like a 60 Chevy Impala, but it's a Holden whatever. It's red and it's flamed, but it's got the right tail lights. It's got the like 60 Impala teardrop lights. But it looks like a downsized Impala. And yeah, and they absolutely trashed that car in the movie. But I always thought that was a pretty cool car. If I could import a car from Australia, I want an Australian Charger with the Hemi 6 and the 3 2-barrel carbs and just the best of everything. I want the hottest car that you could have in Australia in an Australian Charger of the era. They're like 10.5 to 1 compression. They sound mean, I guess. I've never actually heard one, but Connor, what's happening, man? Um, an 80-volt cold vault chainsaw that would impress me. I bet you do. I bet it would. They've come. I know the electric stuff's come a long way. Holden HX van with GXL Fairmont headline, same as the German Granada Mark II and the D. Damaso Longchamp. The Longchamp. I could totally see someone calling that a lawn champ. Like, just relaxing. Nothing stays stock for long in a 70s Aussie car. I love that statement. Yes. Well, I always make the joke, and I think I can lump Kiwis in here too. Who has more fun than Australians? Answer, no one. I mean, what I love is here it was the Chevy SS, and it was that of the Holden era cars coming here. It was just called a Chevy SS. It was just a four-door Impala looking thing that had a high price tag and a V8, and no one understood if the American public was aware of a Holden Commodore SS, which that was what that car is, they would have had a totally different opinion on it. But no one knew of the lore, or knew of it. So it was one of those things. It was a failure here because no one was aware of it. That happens a lot in the automotive world. Yeah, the new GTO was an Aussie car. Yeah. My favorite of those is the G8. I like the G8. That's still a body on frame car, power plant up front, rear wheel drive. The same nose of that G8 was used with my favorite car that I can't have. It's a Holden Maloo. It's got the same G8. I can get a G8 here, left-hand drive and all the normal stuff. But in Australia, they made a Ute called the Holden Maloo. It's got the same G8 nose on it, but in a little mini pickup. And all the pictures I find of it on Google search, it's always in this killer green color. And it just looks fast sitting still. I love cars that look fast sitting still. Holden GTO should have been called the Malibu SS. At least it was a fast. I mean, it was a Pontiac, but at least it was a fast enough car to kind of be a good representation of a GTO. I mean, when you thought GTO and you took one of those for a drive, that was an all right GTO. So at least it wasn't just like eh. I think some of those GTOs came with 6 liters. But that's the blessing of being American, Dougster, as Frank Zappa said. Don't have to be too rough on the average American's ignorance. That's like the USA great. I prefer GTOs with Pontiac V8s. I totally agree with that. I miss the days of, I mean, I understand it's just how business is done, but the whole corporate thing kind of sucks. I mean, I miss the days of, now granted, like, remember the Nova, Nova, Nova. If you remember that, you'll remember all 4 of the cars that General Motors made in the 70s, because you had the Chevy Nova, O is Omega, V is Ventura, A is Apollo. So NOVA is Nova Omega Ventura Apollo. But so they made the same car. It was the same lady in the same dress. She just had different earrings, like it said Chevy on the turn signals and stuff. But um, at least it had a Chevy V8 in it, a Buick V8 in it, a Pontiac V8 in it, or an Oldsmobile V8 of that era. So at least it was still true. You know, it was an Olds. It was an Olds that had Olds power. Yep, Nova Omega Ventura Apollo. Yeah. My nephew Justin loved it when I taught him that. And what's even funnier is I'll quiz him on firing order for a small block Chevy, and he'll forget for a minute. Then he's got to think about it. Then he'll say 1843657 That's my boy. Fastest hole in the world. The HQ Holden was a long wheel Pontiac F body underneath. Pontiac HQ Holden. I'll have to look it up sometime. Yeah, there are some. Well, I mean, look at Mike Finnegan. He was taking his kids to and from school in blasphemy. Yeah. I would totally. I mean, I've seen video of from the Street Outlaws team, the guy with Murder Nova. I've seen video of him taking his son to school in Murder Nova. Yeah. Oh, cops. Citation, Omega, Phoenix, and Skylark. Yes. When they went front drive. Good one, Danster. Very good one. Man, my friend's sister had an Olds Omega that had the weird fastback where the trunk, where the back glass and the trunk lid were all on the same level, and then it dipped off. And hers was bronze. Yeah, it was bronze with black graphics on it. It actually was a pretty nice car. His sister was a lot older than me, and she was beautiful. And I was just an icky kid in the way. Yeah. But Omega or Forenza? Ooh, yes. My friend Rick and his lady Sarah, who are still, they met when we were in junior high, they met. They're still together today. They met in like the late 80s, and they're still together today. They had a silver Forenza. Yep. Yeah, I've seen that one. It's blue. I think Dallas's is blue. Yeah, it's what is it again? It's not a Century. What is it when it's that slant, when it's that when it's a Buick? It's no, it's not a Century. Or is it a Century? I'm not up on my Buicks. Regal or Century. Okay, maybe it was a Century. Maybe I was right. A lady that I went to church with as a kid, she had a Seville. It was two-tone gray. It was like medium gray and tuxedo gray. 82 82, 80, 81, 82, 83 Seville with the bustle back or the octagon trunk lid on it. And yeah, her name was Helen. And Helen always drove a nice car. At one time, she had a Cadillac. I helped a friend of mine fix his, he had an 83 diesel Cadillac Seville, and the air pump had died on it. And of course, the only place you could get the air pump from was from the dealer, and the dealer was, you know the story. And we ended up putting a Schrader valve in with the airlines, and then it sucked then because some of the air system leaked, but at least now you could pull it up to the gas station when they still had free air outside and air up the suspension. The car would sit upright and away we'd go. The rest of the time it looked like a lowrider, and of that airbag suspension, that thing rode like a brick, handled like a shopping cart with a broken wheel. That car was like, it was white, bright white with a red interior. I never liked that car. In 1990, a friend of my family, Raj worked for Chrysler Corporation for transmissions. And he was kind of like actually working on the transmissions, and then would report back to Chrysler to update this. This is the issue. Here's our solution. Update it here at the assembly line. Okay, thank you. And they had bought a 90 New Yorker, and the color of it was called intense white and white. And they'd come over with it, and nice car, of course, but you look at it and you're like, it isn't that white. Until one day, the whole family, we had an 80 Oldsmobile 98. We're in the Olds and we're headed into town on the expressway, and then passing us, narrow waves, is Raj and the family in that New Yorker. And it took us to get the car next to other white cars to realize just how white that car was. It was unbelievably, it was like, whoa, that's a white car. Really white, but by itself, just a white car. Yeah. All gas stations are full service, and the gas jockey handles that anyway. It's all included. See, that's how it got. That died. Full service died here because of insurance. This one family, they stopped their full service island at their family station because of insurance. It basically, because an employee is putting a flammable liquid into a car, is liability. So yeah, full service got killed by the insurance industry. But it doesn't make any sense. So the insurance company doesn't want an employee who knows what he's doing, isn't going to be smoking and all sorts of other stuff, dumb stuff, who actually knows how to do his job, and just have, Joe Sixpack pump his own gas. Yeah. Yeah, here, very rarely, like the one station with free air, at a gas station, there's only like one, two, four. There's 4 gas stations that still have free air. For the longest time, the local station to me had free air. And it was just a little pancake compressor, but it was still free air. And they went away from that, and it's the stupid pay, exactly like Mohawk's talking about. You pay freaking, it's the stupid pay air compressors are a joke. And what's even worse is 90% of the time the stupid things don't work at all. So why have them? They're always out of order. They're not working. You know, I hate it. I hate it. It used to be you could just drive up to the local station. Heck, I remember a guy telling me to carry a hose in my car because the local station would take the air hose in for the evening because kids would steal it. So he's like, yeah, just pull up there. The air compressor's still on, or still got air in the tank. Yeah, you can air up a few tires. Like, I never thought of that, but okay, yeah, good idea. I don't see it as an advancement. Me neither. It's what it's done. What it's come down to is everything is now a pay service. You gotta pay money. I mean, the Ring camera. You want your Ring camera? I heard a lot of that stuff is a pay service. You gotta pay a subscription. I never had one, so I don't know. So let's preface this statement with that. But yeah, everything's a pay service now. Like, want to keep the heated seats in your car? Well, that's $7 a month for eternity. What? You bastards. What happened to the days where I bought a truck that had no options, and if I put in the sweat equity and combed all the yards and I got all the primo parts and I swapped it in, I could have a loaded truck with just a little bit of time. Build it yourself, primo truck. Nope, not no more. Can't do that. No. No, it comes loaded, and then you got to pay monthly for all those goodies to turn it on. Worst part is they're low pressure, high volume pumps. They run a quarter air line, so the air volume makes it exactly. They doing that on purpose. So that way it burns up more time, you get less done, and you spend more money. It's a vicious circle to soak you. Air up their own tires for free. The end. Yeah, yeah. Ralph Nader. You know, one of the stupid things that I want here at the Wolverine Garage is I'll probably never do it because I don't think Lady Dougster would like it. But run the air hose across the end of my driveway. So if somebody pulls in, ding, 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 ding. Those dingers they're proud of those. Those service station dingers, even reproductions are big money. Or the other one that I really like, and I can't think of the brand name, but it's a 50 style air compressor. And I think that one, no, you just flip it on. And it's got a crank on it, and you crank it up to your set pressure. And then, if the onboard compressor is meeting the pressure, it'll ring a bell. Ding, 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 ding. And then you plug it onto a tire. And then if it's below, let's say it's set at 35 pounds, if it's below 35 pounds, it won't do anything, and it'll continue until ding, 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 ding. Oh, take it over. Put on your next tire. They're usually red and white or red and chrome. Guys usually do really nice restorations on those. Mandated those pumps to inconvenience us. Yay. Oh, with a bumblebee on it? No, this is warning. Not listening. It was funny. I wore this shirt to the Vintage Cycle Show, and I'm walking through, and these guys have got this really nice Triumph on the trailer, and the old guy has got a leg swung over it, and he's kicking it. He's trying to kickstart it, and it lights up every time he kickstarts it, but it only runs for like a second, then it dies. And then so I walk over and he kicks it and it runs for 2 seconds and dies. He's trying to keep after it. He kicks it again. It runs for 2 more seconds. And I'm like, finally, I'm invested. Come on, you can do it. And the guy that's working with him, he looks over. He goes, hey, wait a minute. You're not listening. I'm like, well played, sir. Ralph Nader was an idiot. If he had left things alone, he could have had. Friends of mine have talked about accidents on the Autobahn. And what they do is they just push everything to the side of the road and cover everything with big blue tarps. That way you don't see it. And you still rip through there. It's like, really? I mean, and I was told on the Autobahn, if you're in the passing lane, if you're in the fast lane, you better be moving fast. Like, get over, if you need to pass someone, get it done and get over real quick, because there's going to be someone coming behind you flashing their lights. A guy that I used to work with used to take his Porsche up to 195 on his way into work. Legally. It's like 195, yeah. She'd max out at 212. But he didn't like taking her right to the edge, so he'd run it like 195. I'm like, okay. He goes, yeah, we get to work quick. Could you imagine a commuter on the Autobahn, cup of coffee in his hand, his cig, just cruising 180 miles an hour into work, just part of my commute? No, Salty Badger, I haven't. And I do enjoy motorcycle shows. Me and my friend Freckle, we usually go he's a bike breaker and sells cycle parts. A lot of Japanese, a little bit of English, very little Harley and Indian stuff. And we end up going to Centerville, Michigan, at the St. Joe County Fairgrounds for their vintage cycle show. And then we always go, the Gilmore isn't too far away from here, from the Wolverine Garage. And we always go to the Gilmore for their cycle show, which is actually, it's a cycle weekend. And it is really great. They do bike rides. They started doing 100cc and under drag racing, 300-foot drag racing, which is actually pretty cool. I've done 140 commuting, but not for long. Falling down the stairs with a plate of cheesecakes. Now I'm here. Dutch, please, I hope that you don't look like you're at the beach and the seagulls got to you. Dutch got a puppy. The little guy or girl is cuter than cute. Cute. Sorry if I let the cat out of the bag prematurely. If it weren't for the cheesecake, he would have been a goner. Cheesecake, I owe you. You just get to still eat the cake? You guys are my kind of people. Actually, the cake was fine. It was no cakewalk, I tell ya. Ha ha! Lady Dougster's mom, my mother-in-law, has a recipe for you take zucchini and you make an apple crisp out of it. And if you didn't know, you'd swear to God it was made with apples, not zucchini. It tastes, the texture's right, the taste is right, everything is on par. If you didn't know, you'd never know. It's amazing. Driving down the Autobahn in a deuce and a half military convoy doing 50, 56? Oh, yeah, 56. Commander Star says, stay in the right lane or die. Yeah, you lost me at zucchini. I like zucchini. Yeah, the deuce and a half at 56. That's all the beans, too. I'll bet. Man, those things ride like lumber wagons. Yeah, they are. They're what's really neat is on those juice and a halves and the what's the next highest? 6 ton? Anyways, um, is like the old multi-fuel, like the Continental 7.3s and stuff, where it was multi-fuel. So basically, as long as it was liquid fuel that burned, if it burned, it could run it. I mean, I've seen it run on motor oil, coal gas, gasoline, vodka, whiskey, gasoline. And what's really neat is it has a scale in the side of the end. This is 70s technology. This doesn't have like a fuel sniffer. It has a scale system. And as it goes through, it weighs the fuel and it actively, as it weighs the fuel, it knows what the fuel is, um, the fuel's weight is, and is able to adjust it. And yeah, the one guy I know, Brant, he has a deuce and a half that somebody bobbed before he got it, and he has another axle and the frame rails and everything of another one that he's going to graft it back together. But I've seen him drain the oil out of that 7.3 and do an oil change, and then I watched him dump the oil right into the tank, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "It's fine, man. It's multi-fuel." And I said, "Yeah, but," I go, "at least are you gonna strain the oil?" He goes, "Come here. I never realized that thing has 4 fuel filters in it that are pretty skookum." So he goes, "If we plug one of those up, we got a problem. Till then, party on." And I go, "All that metal and stuff isn't, if the metal and whatever in the oil isn't gonna, no, it's fine." Okay. I wouldn't do that. I would at least strain it before I ran into my truck. Why didn't the DeLorean in Back to the Future run on alcohol? I don't know. Because that's too easy. It should have ran on alcohol. It ran on garbage with the Mr. Garbage or the Mr. Reactor or whatever that was. If I was to have a DeLorean, it would be a stock DeLorean. It won't be a time machine. And I want OG DeLorean. I don't want the newer DeLorean, even though they look pretty cool. Am I blaming the script? No. Uh, a sun-powered automobile. Interesting. I want to check out the new Scout. I haven't really looked at a new Scout yet, so I need to look at the new Scout first before I say anything. So I will have a comment later. Never had a desire. 7'3" has ring tolerances. You measure with a yardstick for feeler gauge. Maybe the pass the oil filter's gonna hurt it. I understand exactly what you're saying, Badger. I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, that old Continental. That thing ran, though. It ran good. Oh, it was a sitter. Um, where my family used to, the first DeLorean that I had ever seen. Well, no. Um, in Grand Rapids, or actually, yeah, in Grand Rapids, right on the main drag through like the most where all the hot restaurants are and everything. It's 28th Street, and on 28th Street was Pfeiffer Lincoln Mercury, and Dan Pfeiffer was a Lincoln dealer, and he also was the DeLorean dealer, and his wife had a DeLorean that was, I remember him brand new, parked out by the road, lines of them. And his wife had a DeLorean that they sent out and had it anodized red. So it looked like a DeLorean that you had smeared strawberry jam all over. You could see through it. It still looked like the stainless, but with a red tint. It was beautiful. I've never seen another anodized DeLorean before or since. And then in the early 2000s, like 2005 or 2006, the Dan Pfeiffer collection, they had the DeLorean for sale, Dan Pfeiffer's personal DeLorean, that had 7 miles on it. And at the time, they wanted $75,000 for it, which I think you could buy a couple of them for that now. But it was a brand new car. Has a longer travel time than the Cybertruck, so I think that's a plus. The Cybertrucks do not impress me. There's one I haven't seen it in a while. There was this one guy he's got the big beard and the bald head, and he's been driving Cybertruck. Orange said, "What's your proof I do drugs?" God's point to the. Yeah, 2 more Coke. Gentlemen, this stuff is worth more than gold. And that's when the cops come in and bust them. Done within 7 miles, too. Woo! Max is savage. Yes, the engine is much to be desired in a DeLorean. I will agree. Yes. Yes, I think that they were so innovative at the time that the industry, I mean, you can't prove it, but how they bamboozled Tucker. They just, yeah, I mean, for the love of God, he had to go to court to fight on two fronts. One, literally on one end of the courtroom, he's fighting for his company. They're trying to absolve his company. And on the other end of the court, or the other end of this court building, he's trying to fight to keep his ass out of jail. They're trying to like get him on money fraud stuff, and they just, man, literally going on at the same time, and he had to run between the two. That is a royal screw job. Somebody did that on purpose. They wanted him done, and I don't understand why. Okay, how long? There's no way to get elegantly out of a DeLorean. I agree. I agree. There is no elegant way to get out of a DeLorean. Seven miles on the, that's as long as it ran. Oh, salty badger. Imagine if you the Michael engine deal. Yeah, it was supposed to get a Wankel engine. I wonder if it wasn't. It could have been that GM Wankel engine, because they pulled the plug on it because of the pollution. GM really did some interesting things back in the day. Hell, in like 1970, they were looking at steam as as an option to power cars, and they actually built a few prototype. They're all white cars, big surprise there, but they're steam powered Chevelles, four-door Chevelles in white. No, no, it's not Dutch. Um, Shop truck is nowhere near ready. I just working on the Auto Magic now. Yeah, shop truck's a long ways away from. Roll cars too much have steam powered car. Yeah. Proof you can polish a turd. I wouldn't. That DeLorean engine isn't that great. It's a Volvo. It's got three letters in it, and it's like Volvo, Opel, and it's like a PEL engine or POL engine or something like that. Renault. Three auto manufacturers use that same engine, that 2.86, and PRV V6. Oh, Peugeot, Renault, Volvo. Yes. Yeah. Peugeot, Renault, Volvo. Yeah. Six. And yeah, Peugeot, Renault, and Volvo. Yes. Yes. Yeah, it's not that great of an engine. And which is funny because everyone's like 88 miles an hour. It's like crap, that thing couldn't fall 88 miles an hour. Actually, terminal velocity is like 135 or something like that. But yeah, I mean, the last DeLorean I seen was coming home from work one afternoon, and I was seeing it way up the road. I'm like, what is that? It's so low and wide. Well, it was just far enough away that I couldn't make out what it was. And he finally got off the expressway, and I got off at the same spot. And I'm like, oh, it's a DeLorean, cool. Now, Mech says, oh my God, it's a DeLorean. But I say, ooh, DeLorean, cool. Now, in that parking lot, Marty needed a much bigger area. Well, yeah, especially when Doc grabs that remote control and he punches it, and you see that DeLorean lay rubber, and you're like, wait a minute. Science magazine with some kids from Ohio built a steam engine, put it in an MG, and drove it on the interstate. On 1 gallon of water loss. That's impressive. That's quite the reclamation unit they had then. Um, Steam cars are some of my favorite things. Um, it's really interesting when you look at the three that I know of. You have the primitive one, a Stanley. Then you have primitive but advanced that kind of teeters on the edge. But there's some great design in a white, like the sewing machine company. White made steam cars too, so it runs like a sewing machine, runs like a white. And then the top of the line is Doble, and that's the most technologically advanced. And the white and the Doble had reclamation, but the Stanley does not. So as you drive your Stanley, you have a big curtain of steam behind you as you go, and the Stanley is very primitive. It's like a 15-gallon tea kettle, and it steams up, and away you go. And the turbine wheels were magnesium, most valuable part of the car and scrap. Oh yeah, magnesium. I don't like the fact that magnesium can just rot away. Leave it laying on concrete and tell me how well that magnesium does. It'll eat it. Imagine rolling a steam car with fire and boiling water coming down on you. Yeah, good times. Heat exchanger allowed a 15-second cold start. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Ma Singer. Well, Singer was a good brand too. It would have been a hell of a drive line. Yeah. Well, I think it was like, I think it was just a midnight hour thing. Like it could have been General Motors that was supposed to be the Wankel engine supplier, and they pulled the plug on the program, and at the last second, DeLorean was left trying to find another engine for the engine had to be cheap, and that was exactly what I think what they went for. I think is it in our price bracket? Yes. Are they available? In spades. Let's do it. Curtis Wright. Not to be confused with Curtis Lowe. Cheap and local. Yeah, the Rover V8, well, depending on what year Rovers, are Buick 215s. And I guess that from all these gearhead chats, I guess if you guys have a Buick 215 and you start to seek out the proper Rover parts, because Rover kept producing that Buick 215 and upgrading it and stuff. And I guess you can make them really squeeze out some horsepower with the later Rover aluminum 215 stuff. This engine used electric coils like a stove and superheat the water, made steam in less than 70 seconds, could move down its own in 90 seconds. I think Danster just quoted Jeff Spicoli. What is this? That was my skull. Oh, I'm wasted. I'm so wasted. Jeff, Mom says you need to get off the phone. You didn't knock. You don't exist. That's pretty cool. The Stanley takes forever for it to get started up and ready to rock. The white also, but it's a little easier. And the Doble, its heat exchanger is actually really interesting. Where the other two, basically, you get a tank of water and then you put a flame underneath it and heat the whole thing up. The Doble has this like a million BTU heat unit, and it only is processing like a quart of water at a time. And you can actually light up, because Jay Leno owns the Doble steam car. It's gray and red, like a light gray and red car that belonged to Howard Hughes. And the thing only has rear brakes, and Howard Hughes used to drive that thing at like 140 miles an hour. It'll do it. It's fast. And the Doble, the heat exchanger is really neat. And then it has reclamation on it, and then it uses its steam. Hey, Fox Dude. And then the Doble also uses its steam twice before it is to propel the vehicle, because on the Doble, towards the back of the car is where the pistons are. Oh, and with steam, like with a normal combustion engine, it gets shoved down. Well, with steam, you get steam here and steam here, steam here and steam here. So every pulse is a power pulse. They call the torque and the power of steam, they call it the hand of God, like you're being pushed down the road. Well, in the back of the car, it's like a flat 4, and pistons go like this. And then you have a high pressure side and a low pressure side. So what happens is high pressure steam comes into the high pressure, gets used to cycle the high pressure, and then after it's used, it's put into low pressure, and then runs another piston again before going to either be exited or reclaimed back into the system. Fascinating. Yeah, steam is amazing. Yeah, steam is neat. I like the old Case steam powered tractors and stuff. There's this big turkey farm not far away from here that their family it's an old family. They've been here for forever. And one of the family members, when they first came here, bought a Case steam tractor. And it's a big old unit. Like you could use this thing to run a shingle mill or run the belts or something. It's huge. It's a big old girl. To put it in perspective, the wheels are steel and they've got tire treads that they filleted tires and took the whole tire tread as a length and laid it and screwed it to the wheel so it has tread, so it isn't bare steel wheels. And the steel wheel is like 3 feet wide, 2.5 feet wide. How does PosiTrack on a Plymouth work? It doesn't work because it's sure grip. And I don't know, but it just does, brah. It just does, brah. Baker electric car? Cool. Down in Sturgis, Michigan, almost to the state line, there is, I've heard stories of a Franklin um hidden in a barn. And I'd love to be the guy to go bring that home. Do I know anything about Franklin? No. But why not? Air cool. It's like, this is like Volkswagen, eat your heart out. The annual Thrashers reunion, everything is done with steam. It's in Iowa. Yes. End of summer down by Gingerman Raceway. So southwest of me is the Flywheelers show. And everything's usually there, from fix a cigarette lighter. Is it the new Bluesmobile or what? Everything's there, from steam to antique tractors, and it's got a swap meet there that is off the hook. I always find great stuff there. A lot of be careful though, because there's guys that bring some choice stuff. They also want choice prices for their stuff too. Where'd you go? Something's in my eye besides my finger. Oh, okay. Where'd you go? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, there you are. Yeah, basically, if it runs on fuel, I like it. All I did made it worse, whatever it is. Okay. Ari, what's happening? Great to see you. Welcome to my live stream. The sheet still has some geek, man. Remember in the original Willy Wonka where he's working with the recipe and he takes a couple shoes and puts it in the mixture for an extra kick? Hey, now we got West Coasters in. Now we know we're really styling and profiling. Well, welcome home. Kick back, relax, have a beer. Maybe duff around in the garage. Are you working on your Toyota fleet? Yoda! Funny how Toyotas multiply. I know all summer long, Lady Dougster loves her Toyota. Our Toyota, I like it too. It's a great little car. On the west coast of Mexico and in Pacific time, I get ignored a lot. Well, I'm sorry, Max. I don't mean to ignore you. It's nothing personal, my guy. For real. I value what you say and think. You are mi amigo. We are compadres. And all the Ah, yes. Yeah, it's also about that big. That's why that Echo barely burns gas. Yeah, it's a yeah. All the people I know who have Echoes drove them right into the dirt. Keep those Ferraris refrigerated. Cool Ferraris. Ferraris never turned my crank. Lamborghini's dead when I was a teenager. It's like, ooh, Lamborghini. I had a one Christmas I was given a Countach cheap Radio Shack remote control car. I was so excited, and I slammed batteries in it, and I played with it that day or that evening. And I don't know what happened, but the wheel had where that went on the plastic shaft. It wasn't even hardly knurled. The wheel split and broke, and I couldn't drive my uh, Countach. I was heartbroken. It was just a cheap toy anyway. But yeah, I was a little kid. I'm like, my car. And of course, me trying to fix stuff, and I tried like hell to put the wheel on, and I think I disagree with Mexicans back about mangoes and how to say Tijuana. I like kiwi. It's the furry fruit. No. Tijuana, Doug. It's Tijuana. Okay. uh, Tijuana. Tijuana. I was set up by Ari. I was set up by Ari. Ah, thank you. Well, that's funny because there's a lot of people, I'll catch myself saying it wrong, mispronunciations. How many people say asphalt instead of asphalt? I'm guilty of it. I was framed. Oh boy. Let's say Tijuana wrong. I know what I'm doing. That's awesome. Asphalt. Yeah, a lot of people say ash fault, which I'm guilty of that. So just like me saying Tijuana wrong. I don't know why they add an H to asphalt, but a lot of people will also like, oh, I gotta go on Saturday. I gotta go wash the car. Wash, Warsh, wash. Not wash the car, but wash the car. Or go to the hardware store and get some washers for the project to go with my bolts. Spelled Asphalt Wednesday. Or another one, people who confuse the word ideal, like an ideal situation, with ideas. Like, wow, I just had a really great ideal. How about we do this? And I'm like, a really great ideal? Okay. Washington, D.C. I've heard people say that. Loved adding syllables to word. Convert house. They don't have ideas in the first place. Yes, you're right. They have ideals. What really impresses me are the someone where other people are like, oh, don't count on so and so. He's dumber than a box of rocks. And all of a sudden, that one day, something's going to happen. And that guy that nobody, oh, ideas. That's an idea. So with those people, do you blame the teachers or the parents? All together? They all are blamed. They all, well, how many times have you seen school push someone through that really shouldn't have graduated high school? It happens all the time. They just quietly just push them through. A set of twins I know. He is smart as a whip. He just graduated. Smart as a whip. He is gonna go places. His sister, she didn't get any of it, and she just shuffled through. She got her diploma, but yeah, by barely. The pronunciation is in that book. Yes, yes. Well, I mean, to be honest with you, until I was straightened out on how to say that Mexican city that I shouldn't be going to, I always thought it had an extra A in it. So I'm just as bad as everyone else. I forget what grade they wanted me to repeat. And my parents just, it goes up to my parents. And my parents didn't hold me back. But my well, I won't talk about that. But yeah, they wanted to hold me back a grade, and my parents said no. He already knows how to sleep. War as in war the hell. Tijuana. Oh, yeah, I never knew I was saying it wrong. I do know that some people call it like TJ for short for Tijuana. Beatles played live at Liverpool. Yes. Lead paint. Yeah. It is pretty sad though when all of a sudden you're watching a video and then you've got this great eloquent speaking voice and then all of a sudden you just catch just how things work. You're like, oh, okay, this was AI generated or with the help of AI. Yay. As a matter of fact, sleep is a crucial piece to your learning process. Like your first day of work, let's say you start a new job and you're learning everything and you spend your first day doing that, and it's a lot to take in. A lot of that will be more firmly set in your mind that night when you sleep. It wouldn't, and I've noticed that because I'll have repetitious dreams when something's important to me. And so I've had dreams of running the machines of the day before. So it's part of your learning process. I wasn't a bootlicker. I played sports in high school. I agree 1,000% on that statement right there. I told myself in life that my life would start when I graduated, and that's the way it is. Yes, and I believe the same way. My life started when I graduated. Yep. Does anyone know a baseball player named Robin Yount? Yes, I've heard of Robin Yount. I think I have his. No, I used to have his baseball card. I think they all got thrown out. Yeah, Robin Yount. I think he played for like St. Louis or the Reds. My midlife crisis began when I graduated. Oh, I can't believe it that this spring it's been 29 years since I was in high school. Where does the time go? Okay. Well, I for whatever reason I'm envisioning him wearing a red ball cap. So maybe he was St. Louis. Maybe I'm just barking up the wrong tree altogether, which is totally possible. do, do, do. His name comes up when people talk in the Facebook group for the school. Interesting. Maybe he's that one famous name that everyone can name drop. Oh, I know Robin Yount. Oh, we all know Robin Yount. Yeah. Did I ever read this? He played for his high school in the 70s, and he went to the majors. He's one of the famous people from his high school. Oh, how cool. Okay. And that's right. You went to high school here in the States, I believe. I mean, Dayton was right next door to my mom's parents. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember you talking about that. My wife has reminded me I have not gotten a car out yet this year. The year's slipping away already. Yeah, Dutch, come on. Get with it. Pull one out and drive it over to my house. We'll drink beer. One famous name. My school has actors, sports people, and just about everything else. Adam Carolla was part of the Man Show. I love the Man Show. Adam was from a competing school. I asked Adam last week. School played mine. Yes, 54 games. I know we lost every one of them. We couldn't buy a game. Damn. That's cool. We don't have anything real notable. Yeah, even some of the more famous people from my area were famous like 30 years ago. So I could throw some names out, but it would probably be like who? The what? And I'd say, yeah, never mind. Oh, Wilmer, that 70s show. Okay. Very funny. Very funny. Yeah, you were living in the right place at the right time. That's cool. Ice Cube? Really? Yeah, but this is SoCal. So you probably went to school. Is Valerie Bertinelli? No. Would Valerie Bertinelli be around your age bracket, Max? I had a crush on her when I was a kid. I liked Valerie Bertinelli. Valerie Bertinelli's dad was a GM bigwig, and they had to move the whole family here to Michigan for a while. And before he ended up taking a job with GM on the West Coast. Oh, Justine Bateman, who is the sister on Family Ties. I am one step away from Michael J. Fox. Nice. I wonder if Justine Bateman is that the same Bateman name as like Jason Bateman? Robin Wright. Okay. I am a huge George Carlin fan. He is so interesting and articulate. That dude is smart. Okay. When you said Justine Bateman, Jason Bateman, it just it is like, man, that's got to be it. It's got to be it. I like the new State Farm commercials. Do you want Batman or do you want Bateman? Okay, it is getting close to 10:40, so I got to be like adult and responsible and stuff. And buddy like John Candy, I represent that statement. So I am going to Dino. I think I'm going to wrap things up for the evening. Thank you to each and every one of you for coming out and hanging out and making this weekly live stream a thing that it is. So thank you. Without you, this isn't anything. So thank you, and I look forward to who wants an orange whip? Orange whip, orange whip, orange whip, orange whip. 3 orange whips. Thank you for coming, and tune in next week. Same Dougster time, same Dougster channel. Till then, bye everybody.